Okay. And I just have to wait for Instagram to catch up now. Good afternoon, everybody. Should be getting used to this now, me going live on all the places. And the clicks come at the time that they want to. Come on. That's it. It clicked. So we should be live on Instagram as well any second. Now we are. So hello, good afternoon, Friday afternoon. I hope your week has been awesome. It's raining in Scotland and I have done a million calls this week. Well, it's a slight exaggeration, but I've done a lot. And I'm ending on a high by talking to two of my amazing best-selling authors. So I'm really excited about this to end the week on such a high. So welcome. For those of you that don't know me on any of the platforms you might be watching from, I am Mandy Nicholson, as the sign said, and I am the Creative Genius Consultant. I'm an artist and an author, a creative retreat owner in Scotland, and I help creative women to launch, grow and scale their businesses and make more money. I also have a mission on this planet to have the voices of these amazing creative women heard. And the latest project to do that, I've just realized you can't see all that poster, has been Beyond the Ordinary, which we launched collectively with myself and 30 authors on Friday at Social Impact Live. And within hours of launching, we were at #1 Amazon bestseller. Woo, woo. Which is fantastic. And we continue to sell the book now. It's available on Kindle, but you can also pre-order your hard copy and your paperback copy using the links in the descriptor. But we are going to talk to two of the ladies that were brave enough to step forward and tell their stories today. So I'm going to start with you, Nisha. Introduce yourself and tell everyone what you do.
Hello, everyone out there in the world. Yes, I'm a textile artist. I'm based in London, live in London, trained in London. Went to Central St Martin, lucky enough to, and then went to the Royal College of Art. And I trained in textile design, and that's what I did for a very long time and everything. But I just like doing lots of different things. Then I was lecturing for about 20 years, which meant I got a little taste in everything. So I kind of, like I was saying to Mandy, that I've kind of become a little bit of a, what does Nisha do? Oh, a bit of textiles, a bit of painting, a bit of this, a bit of that. So now Mandy's kind of brought me back again to what I think, which is what, to the book. And I did do some children's illustrations back in 1990 when I first left art school. And and now I've come full circle and, embracing the challenge.
Awesome. Thank you. And actually, I think you described every creative ever there, where you said a bit of everything, didn't she, Andrea? Do you want to introduce?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Sorted.
Yeah, that's okay. It's just the screen just jumped there. Yeah, so my name's Andrea and I'm the menopause artist. I help women understand and navigate the menopause using art. And I'm new to this art malarkey. I realised 2 years ago that I'm actually quite good at art, and I started to paint pet portraits. And at the same time, I also discovered that I'm neurodivergent and definitely an ADHD. I've throughout my life I've doodled. Unlike Nisha, I'm not formally qualified in art. But I was very lucky that my mum taught me all the creative pastimes when I was young. Really enjoyed being part of the book and loved reading sharing my story with a group of business women last Friday at Social Impact Live.
Oh no, that was awesome. Listening to you read the book out in front of that audience was so emotional for everybody in the room. I have to say, Andrea had the room crying because it's such a powerful story and an inspiring story filled with, all of that raw emotion that goes into telling our stories, which I think is kind of the purpose of anything that we do, isn't it? So yeah. You did awesome. So
Thank
Nisha,
you.
What is it that prompted you to write your story? I know, obviously, me prodding you, but what was it?
Yeah, I did need a swift boot up the But no, so basically a lot of my work is kind of a narrative of my life and the way, basically, I mean, the subject that I know the most about is myself. So basically, so I've kind of, over the years, I have kind of somehow documented it in my artwork. And in fact, just about 4 years ago, because I trained in actual knitwear, so I made this piece of work, which is a piece of knitting, which
We
is
love that.
actually my story, which is what I have told in the book, in the chapter. So I think when it's a piece of artwork, especially when it's textiles, people kind of look at it and they don't understand the story, and it's difficult to kind of stand there and go, well, this means this and this means this and that. So it was great to be able to just put it down in a chapter and just say, yeah, so this is me in a written form and this is me in a visual form. So yeah, it all kind of just all came together quite nicely. So I think I've always had the story in me, but just telling it in a different form and being encouraged by you to do that, because I don't think I would have ever said, oh, I'm an author, because I can draw pictures, but writing not necessarily. So, but thank
you are
you.
now. Yes, you are now under #1 bestseller. So that's, it's that, isn't it? Yes, we're all very visual when we're creative, and neurodivergent. And I think the visual stuff does come in. It's easier for us to express sometimes, isn't it? But words can be tricky, and it's a skill. But we'll talk about that as we go, as how cathartic it is to write. But so what prompted you again, Andrea, other than me prodding you, saying, do you want to do this? You were quick off the mark when I put this out.
I know. There wasn't much prodding actually from you. And in my usual, competitive style, I had to be the first to submit my story as well. I've kind of always known that I have a book to write. And I know a lot of people say that. And I've already started it actually. So this kind of came along quite nicely for me. I hadn't already written the chapter, but when I actually wrote it, it flowed really, really easily. And it documents some challenging times in my life, but I've tried to maintain a positive, upbeat tone in my story. And it's been good to somehow park the story and not have that jangling around in my head, although obviously it's what makes me. But I really enjoyed the process of writing, and I was not one of the people at school that was good at writing or good at English, so it's actually quite nice to be able to put pen to the paper and create something that's worth a read.
Exactly that. And it definitely was. They all are. These stories are so inspiring, so raw and real, but also make you feel like you're not alone. And I think that was really, for me, the purpose behind the book. So how does it feel, Nisha, to be a #1 best-selling author?
Honestly, I feel like I'm wearing a halo or a crown in my head everywhere I go. Even in the chemist shop, I'm like, oh yes, excuse me, do you know who I am? No. I am absolutely thrilled to be part of the book. You guys are meeting so many lovely people. I know I wasn't able to make it into Bolton, but I just feel like I've got a new set of friends, community, and like-minded ladies, and that has just been amazing. And so I've got a little glow about myself now, I think.
Well, we can see it. We can see that glow. Are you glowing, Andrea? Yes.
I'm glowing more because of the menopause than anything else. But I mean, I've already said this, that I find it really difficult to acknowledge my accomplishments. I always have done. And I've always wanted to, having achieved something, move on to the next thing and achieve more. But no, I am truly proud to be part of the project, and I know we've achieved a huge thing to be #1. And it really was a team effort. And I am, like Nisha, I'm loving being part of this new community. And when I met people at Bolton on Friday there, who I'd seen briefly online, and it was like we knew each other already, and it was just so relaxed. And yeah, it's great when you found your tribe, and I talk about that in my story.
You do, definitely, and it is great. It's a lovely community, and just so everybody can see, this is the proof copy that I've got. Yes, only me and Nixon have these. It looks amazing. It's really the color is fantastic. I keep opening it with a color picture exactly where, and I'm not today, but yeah. So you've got full color inside the hardback and the paperback. It's superb quality. It's a thick book.
It is
double the thickness of my book almost. So it really is a bargain. So I keep touching that and sniffing it because so have there been any aha moments or lessons for you along the way, Nisha?
Yeah, I think with me, unlike Andrea, I'm kind of a little bit, I think when I went to art school, it literally was like, yes, you can do this, and I always felt like I could do everything and anything, but to a point of annoyance to my friends, because sometimes they'll buy something really, like a nice necklace, and I'll be like, ooh, I'm like that lady from Goodness Gracious Me who goes, oh, I can make that with a tiny aubergine. So yeah, but I think the aha moment, because I've been through, a few years of, it's been difficult with my husband being ill and me being his carer, and I kind of lost my boom, and it's just reminded me that it's still in there. I just need to nurture it and get it out, and now it just feels a bit more natural, and I'm able to just get in my studio and instead of go, oh, I can't do anything, I don't know what to do, and I do something, and I come out, feeling really good. So yeah, I think that's what the book kind of gave me an aha moment to say, do you know what? I might be getting old, or maybe whatever, but I'm not. I'm still Nisha. I'm still Nisha underneath all of this, and still the naughty 8-year-old that I remember.
I think that's a huge message to everybody, and I think Andrea, you'll underline that with what the work that you do with menopause and art, is that most women, a lot of women in their 40s, 50s, and even 60s lose their way and forget who they are or who they were, and you must come across that a lot.
Yeah, for sure. I know it's certainly, when you've got children as well, people don't know your name. You're just somebody's mum. And then equally, I've got dogs, and everybody knows me through the names of my dogs, not, me. Yeah. So, yeah, I had a horrendous perimenopause experience. I was completely lost, and that's what motivated me to help other women. But there's a phrase that's going around amongst the young folk at the moment, and that's about being relevant. And according to them, ladies of our age are, we're irrelevant, but we are so relevant, and the book has shown that. And I'm turning 60 next year, and I'm not ready to stop. I'm still I'm probably more full of youthful enthusiasm than I was when I was relevant, I was relevant and I didn't know I was relevant. But it's just been great being part of people women, strong women who've had challenges in life, who aren't wanting to shrink into the background, who want to be out there and making their mark on the world.
Yeah, definitely. We have got a couple of very young ladies in the book who, when you look at the stories as a whole, for me, because I've read and edited every single story in there, their stories have similar messages in them. They just haven't learned all the lessons yet from them. And actually, this book covers all generations, those younger relevant people, because my daughter's one of them and she's in there, and there are bits of her story that
Yeah.
resonate as much as some of the other ladies in the book. So we're all very relevant. And if I hear anybody saying I'm not, I will hit them with this book. So
Well, when I get that copy, I'm gonna hit one of my daughters, because sometimes when I say, "Oh, I want to do this," she's like, "Mother, just retire and enjoy your life now. Why are you causing, challenges for yourself?" So yeah,
because we're relevant. Yeah, we're very
I
relevant.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
without giving anything away, Anisha, give us a little snippet of your story. What sort of topics are you going to be covering?
Yeah, I mean, I've been touched by death and illness by, my father, my mother, my husband. And I think my main story really is that throughout my life, throughout all the ups and downs, I've always gone to art to kind of save me. It's always kind of been my one friend, my twin, whatever, call it and it's just always been that, even if like, say when my mum was really ill and I was her carer, I used to just draw. Look, I'd have a plant in front of me while I was sitting there, and that release of whatever creativity art does, it was just the best. And I must admit, even from all my life, like even moving to England in the 1980s, going through school where my English was okay, but it wasn't brilliant, and I used to get bullied a lot and everything, and it was all very new. And again, I remember art and drawing, and I had my own art gallery on my bedroom wall where I used to put all my drawings. So I think that's kind of been my crutch, really.
And that definitely comes through in your chapter, and so many other ladies in the book as well. What about you, Andrea? Snippet without giving anything away?
I think it is that you're never too old to change direction. And that, I mean, throughout my life, I never knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. And I only worked that out 2 years ago. And that's okay, And, it's never too late to change direction, to find a new passion or find your passion, and to keep going, like Nisha says. Just because we're a particular age doesn't mean that we need to give up. So yeah, that's really my I suppose that's
Story.
the essence of my story. Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, we've all had challenges. I suppose I glossed over my challenges a little bit, but it's interesting what Nisha was saying there about being drawn back to art, because if I think about my happiest moments, they were with my mum being creative when I was really young.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
It runs through your life, doesn't it? And it does create like nothing else, and helps you navigate, which is why you've gone that way with your business, with Menopause Art, is helping women through that difficult time of their life, which can be decades. It can be, it can be a short time, it can be a long time. So having a coping strategy in something that is as cathartic as art, it can be so beneficial. And actually, I turned 60 16 days ago.
Yeah.
60 is the new 40. I don't care what anybody says. I've just turned 60, launched a book, spoke, I was the keynote speaker at a mega event. I've been on podcasts around the world in the last few weeks. There is no limit to us women. And that's, I think, one of the common threads through all the chapters in this book is we're limitless. That's why
I think we're lucky enough to have all of that life experience and everything to a point where that makes you a bit more confident. And sometimes when you see all the BS, you're like, oh yeah, I've been there, done that, and you're kind of that much more, bring it on. And I think I feel a lot more at ease in my own skin at nearly 62 than I did when I was 21, when I was still wondering, oh, do I look okay? And now I'm like, this is the best, this is it. Take it or leave it.
This is what you get today. Yeah, this is what you get. Absolutely. So what would you say then, Nisha? Anybody who's thinking, I'd love to tell my story, I'd love to write my story, I'd love to do a book, I'd love to do this, because now you've experienced it for yourself, what would you say to them?
I think first of all, just write down things every day with, and just a bit like the mind mapping thing that you did with us in the retreat.
Yeah.
Just kind of write down who you think you are and where you came from and how it kind of happened and what is it that that drives you. I think just by even writing little notes or even kind of saying them out loud kind of makes you already have the story is begin. You're planting the seeds of the story, and I think do it because the more you write, the more you can make it better and better, and then go, oh yeah, I remember that thing, and then this, and then it's like a jigsaw puzzle.
It is.
And it all comes together in the end. Yeah.
And so many of the ladies along this process said, but my story's nothing. I've got nothing that really. I know so many said that, and then they wrote their stories, and I was like, wow, this is going to resonate with somebody, and kind of that happens with most people. Oh, I'm boring. I've never done anything, and then actually they have.
Honestly, just by getting up every day and being in the world, we are being, and like everyone's got a story. Yeah.
And we're relevant, absolutely. And
relevant.
Yeah.
New word, I think, hashtag relevant with on Instagram now, hashtag relevant. So Andrea, what would you say to anyone? Because it is something that you must hear as well. Well, who am I to write a story? Who am I to write a book?
Well, everybody's story is unique, isn't it? We've all got a story. And it's a bit like when I explain about creating art to people, it's not about the quality of the art. It is about the process of creating it and how you feel during the process and the benefit you derive from the process. So I can't remember if I mentioned this in my story or if I've spoken to somebody else about this. I'm like you, Mandy. I've had so many conversations with people, but even if you don't publish your story, please write it down because I wish my mum had written her story. I know snippets of it, but I don't know her full story. And I think it's a legacy for the generations that follow us writing our story, because things change so much, and throughout life we've already spoken about as Gen Xers how much we've had to take on board, and for the younger generations to look back and read your story, it's like, wow, it's history, isn't it?
It's history in the making. It is a legacy. And I think, like you said, I would love to have known what was going on in my grand's life and even my mum's life at the times where we weren't there, and what happened before us and what's happened after we left. But there is nothing like that. Stories have been there since the dawn of time, and we are, as humans, attracted to listening to them, attracted to participating in them. Nisha's popped off for some reason. I bet the internet's gone down or something, but that's you talking. And I think it's that, isn't it? Bringing together a collection of stories. She's back.
Oh, sorry about it. You wanted me to subscribe to something, and I was
tech. Don't you just love tech? That's okay. This is great. You can come in and out of StreamYard. We're just having a little tea party here. We're just saying about the legacy of stories and just how important it is to be shared. I feel very honored that my daughter wrote a chapter for this book, and that when I read her chapter, even though I was a mum and I went through everything with her view of it and her perspective of it was very different to mine. And that's so important when you can read the perspective of others that might have been in the same family as you or the same friendship group of you. It can open up your mind to, my goodness, you never know what anybody's going through, do you?
No, it's true. Definitely.
So it's powerful. So yes, this book is a power-packed book. I'm going to hold it up again just because I've got it. Because I've got it. I have to say the hardback, which Nixie has got, she said and Nixie is our publisher, is an absolutely gorgeous coffee table book. It's beautiful. We've done that in premium colour, and it looks amazing. And I can't wait to get my hands on a copy, and I'm sure you guys can't wait to get your hands on it either. So if you want to buy a copy of the book, you can use the link above, or go to either of these ladies to buy your copy from them. Do buy a copy. You can find both Nisha and Andrea. Their websites are on this live in the descriptor, so go and check out their work and what they do. Yeah, because
it's an update.
Yeah, we're all updating everything all the time, but connect with them on socials. You know, these two ladies are now #1 best-selling authors. You are very fortunate to be connected with them. Thank you very much for joining me today, both of you. Have an amazing week, and I will see you again soon.
Thanks,
Thank
Mandy.
you.
Bye.
Have a lovely, calming weekend.
I will try.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye, Andrea.
Bye, Nisha. Lovely.